Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Nelson here with the head coach of the Linfield Wildcats, Joseph Smith, and a big win against Puget Sound a week ago, 33-7 final score, and came with just some nasty weather, horrible conditions on a grass surface. Kind of walk me through what you expected going into that one and how things turned out. Nonetheless, a Wildcat win.
Over the years, the playing there has been not fun when it's been wet and rainy. The field really is soft and mucky and so that's what we expected. We did expect that to be the case. So it was fun for our program to get out on the mud this past week and practice. We changed our times to get out there because of the daylight and started practicing at 3 out in the mud and it was fun for our guys to get a taste of that. You know, so many of our former players got the joy of doing that day in, day out in the dark, in the mud, and our guys haven't really gotten to experience that. So it was fun last week, I guess, in some ways, and I felt that helped us prepare for the footing conditions that we found ourselves in.
Definitely. Guys sliding in the mud after the game. That was a cool sight to see.
Yeah, a couple of our guys from the islands were having a lot of fun with that.
That's awesome. Talk about the secondary, led by Kennedy Johnson, who they kept testing time and time again, it seemed like. And he bent, but he didn't break. It just a lot of passes defended. I think he had 5 in the stats. We'll have to go back and check that. But what a game for him in the secondary, shutting down one of the best passing offenses in the country.
I thought KJ had a tremendous game, as you noted. He was oftentimes on their receiver that got a lot of attention, so he was going to be in the thick of it. We had hoped. I think KJ is a very fine corner, and he played great. We graded him out really highly. I thought he made some great plays. Was very physical and really was a big reason why we were able to get them to punt so much.
Definitely. Sam Riddle, of course, has scored his 115th career touchdown, passing Brett Elliott for most touchdowns in program history, responsible for. Talk about that accomplishment that Dave and I were talking earlier in the week. We didn't think that would ever be broken.
Anytime your name's in any sentence with Brett, that's normally a very good thing. And Sam has just had a tremendous career here. He really has. I'm really proud of what he's accomplished with all the things that have been on his plate. He's a consummate teammate and just playing at a really high level. The game's slowed down for him. And in some cases, he gets himself in trouble by trying to not do too much, but take care of everybody else's job too. And when he just is able to relax and just focus on what he needs to do, he's very, very talented and just been a wonderful player to have on our team.
It seems like we talk about him every week now, but Reed Peterson, a 2-touchdown performance, a 75-yarder. The kid's on fire. He's got 10 touchdowns, right behind Johnny Carroll in the Northwest Conference for the lead. The slot receiver has really taken off for the Wildcats this year.
It has. I thought Deidre Wiersma really helped us utilize that position a little bit more in our offense. I think as Deidre really came into his own at slot, we started to at least maybe me, for myself, started to find ways to use a player like that, and Reed is so similar to that, probably even a little quicker in some ways, but he's really a weapon to use. He's a mismatch against most safeties. They have a very difficult time covering him, but what Reed is so adept at is yards after the catch. His yards after the catch are so high, and he takes little passes and makes big passes out of them, and that's certainly a wonderful thing to have on your team.
Your rushing attack, you knew going into this one you were going to have to run the ball a lot because of the conditions in the field. Spencer Payne over 100 yards for the first time this season, and Sutter Choice with a beastly run for a touchdown. Talk about those two guys and their performances.
The running backs, I thought, played very well. They really did. The footing for them all week was terrible. Our running game didn't look all that great in practice, but I'd hoped it would look better when those guys really got up to full speed, and they did, and they ran a little bit more of a north-south style running, shoulders down, protecting the football, and those two ran really, really well. If we're on a turf field, it's probably a 28-point difference, in terms of just the explosiveness of our team. But those two really made it go for us. I thought our offensive line blocked very well and gave those guys some creases, and then when they hit them, they did some damage.
Yeah, that leads me to my next question. The protection of Sam and the holes for these running backs this week, and really for the past 3 or 4 weeks, has been incredible from that offensive line.
Our offensive line's gotten better and better each week. That being said, the conditions make it really, really hard to pass rush. So neither team is going to typically rush the passer very well in a muddy scenario. The advantage really goes to the offensive line, as really does the advantage go to the defensive backs in terms of over receivers, typically in a really muddy, soft field. But that being said, I thought the offensive line played well together and certainly was the reason why we were able to run as well as we did.
With a win against Puget Sound, you for sure locked up at least a share of the Northwest Conference title. You can win it outright with a win over PLU, and it's at home for the Pacific Office Hall of Fame game. What do you expect from the Lutes coming up?
Well, one thing is you expect the unexpected with those guys, and I smile just because it's fun playing PLU. I enjoy playing it, enjoy their style of football. It's very frenetic. Pack of wild dogs out there on defense flying around. And their offenses, you never know what you're going to get. They're very explosive. They're very creative in what they do. Big play type of offense. They're really not a grinded out team. They traditionally love to hit some big plays, although they can. They have a good option game going right now, and some fine receivers. But they're just fun to play. They'll never quit. They play with their hair on fire. They're a very worthy opponent. It's somebody we enjoy playing.
Pacific Office Hall of Fame game. Brett Elliott, one of the greatest players in Linfield football history, being inducted, and so too the 2004 National Championship team. Just a special day when it's a Hall of Fame day.
I think it is, particularly this one, with so many of our former players coming back that maybe are a little more recent, that are still pretty tight with our staff today. Not that our older players aren't, but these are guys that we all coached and certainly are still in pretty good contact with. So there'll be a lot of our players here and have a lot of recruits coming. So it'll be a really fun game.
Coach, that's all the time we have. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.